Mr. Walker, I know you said just call you Walker.
Yeah.
But I will call you Mr. Walker for right now.
Okay.
I'm really excited to sit with you because I didn't know that we know some of the same people.
Yeah.
So originally, the first person that we know is Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if anybody knows Zach, he's built.
Yeah.
Kind of like Hulk, Iron Man. I mean, he looks intimidating, but he's just a cool guy.
Yeah.
And then we also know Mr. Jimmy. I call him Papa Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really interested to know you now.
Yeah.
Tell me, let's say this for our first official question. Let's go down to your childhood.
Okay.
Take me in your childhood car, the car that the family used all the time.
Yeah.
I want you to ride me down the neighborhood.
Yeah.
What was it like? Where was it? And what were you like as a child?
I would say I was way too talkative as a child. I was very excited, just like my 6-year-old is.
Okay.
I've lived in the same area within a half a mile my entire life. I grew up in Mahina Woods across from Columbus State.
Okay.
And childhood vehicle, Dodge Caravan.
Come on. I love a good Dodge.
We had a couple of those. And I was in the 80s because we had carpool. And it's funny, I tell one of the stories. One of the dads who drove carpool used to stick a cigarette up one nostril and he could suck out the smoke on the other nostril. And some of the moms who smoked they'd crack the window, only crack the window if it was raining outside.
Okay.
As we're doing carpool. So I grew up, I was an 80s kid, just kind of, people just did everything back then.
Yeah.
But great childhood and moved from there less than a quarter mile across the street from Hardaway where my parents still live.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And then I've lived around Hardaway or in that area within about a half mile my entire life now.
Wow.
Other than law school and undergrad.
Okay. And why law school?
Law school?
Yeah, because was that a dream of yours as a child or?
Honestly, I mean, I'd always had people tell me I'd be a good lawyer because I did a lot of extemporaneous speaking and I did speeches and stuff.
Okay.
But part of it was necessity.
Okay.
Part of the reason I know Jimmy Blanchard is because Bill Turner was my Sunday school teacher. I went to First Baptist where Jimmy Elder preaches. I love Jimmy. Come on. But I went to Bill Turner's Sunday school at St. Luke for a part of my life.
Okay.
And so I went into banking in college. And I interned at CB&T every summer. Okay. But unfortunately, when I graduated, or I was about to graduate in 2007, that was when the banking collapse started happening. So my dad, he was an investment advisor. He just retired. He said, hey, you always had a talent for law and speaking, and you kind of liked, being able to debate, come up with arguments, and being able to be persuasive. Right. You can do whatever you want. You can go back into finance if you want to with a law degree. You can do anything you want. A law degree will help. But my dad, this is before the collapse really was bad, but he started predicting, because he had done investments all his life, he said, I can just tell you right now, and sure enough, nobody got hired at CB&T for a few years. So I did all these summers trying to become basically where I could walk right into banking out of college, and I may not have got a job if I had done that. So I went to law school because of that.
So you come out of law school, and then you do what with your life?
I go straight into a boutique firm that handled personal injury cases. Okay. They did med mal, represent a lot of railroad union workers who got hurt, something called federal employer liability. Okay. And then your standard car wrecks, tractor trailer wrecks, that kind of stuff. So I have had a passion for helping people, but I was lucky enough that Andy Harpin Collier gave me a chance. I had grown up with Andy's daughter. She went to St. Anne Bocelli with me. Okay. And friends, lifelong friends, went to church together, that kind of stuff. So they were my first job for my first 2 years out of law school.
You say you like to help people.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Who taught you how to have that kind of heart?
I mean, my parents, my grandparents, I mean, they've always told me, to live a life of service. My grandmother... Both sides of my family were involved in politics. My grandmother's side great-great-grandfather was James Johnson, and he was in Congress, and he was a chief judge here, and he was actually the governor after Reconstruction.
Okay.
He was appointed. He's the only governor I think we've had from Columbus, and he was appointed as Reconstruction governor. And then so that was a long time ago. But then on my dad's side, her I guess it was her daddy or granddaddy was served in the state senate. Still got his little mural hanging up.
Sure.
And they'd lived in the Hamilton or Columbus area for a long, long time, but always been involved in the law or in some type of politics, serving the community. So my grandmother, she said, she kind of raised me with the, you give back to the community.
Sure.
And, she taught me, and I'll be honest, starting out, a lot of it when you're young, you want the recognition, you want to have the spotlight.
Sure.
But I would like to say I have evolved into what I think my grandmother wanted for me, which is service without caring about who gets recognized.
Yeah, my great-grandmother, who passed years ago, she was 94 when she passed. And I just remember her she always said, take care of the people.
Yeah.
Like, take care of people. Because you don't think about how important it is. Like you raise, sometimes you think like, okay, I'm gonna take care of my children, my wife. But what really matters is when people you are not bloodly connected to say good things about you.
Yeah.
And I know this because I remember at her funeral. So of course our family was there, but I remember there was only standing room only.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm thinking like, wow, she was 90-some years old.
Yeah.
And all these people are here just to see her for the last time. She must have lived some kind of life of service. So ever since that moment, I've dedicated my life to living in some way. So that's important.
Yeah.
That's really important. Is that something you pass down to your children, or?
Absolutely.
How do you do that?
Well, every day when we're on the way to school, I take Walker Jr., who's 6, to school every day. We pray on the way to school, and then when I put him out, I always tell him, I say, find somebody to be kind to. And I say, just find one thing, help somebody who's getting bullied or somebody who's not getting played with. Yeah. And try and be kind. And I don't want to leave off my grandfather too on my mom's side.
Yeah.
Excuse me, my dad's side. My mom's side, he had passed away before I was born. He passed away when my mom was very young.
Okay.
But on my dad's side, my grandfather served in the military all his life and was an Air Force
structure. He was very structured.
But he was a hero. He was in World War II, flew a lot of very serious missions, and something that made an impact on me was he did have a lot of people, kind of like you're talking about, at his funeral. But he didn't do the full military honor stuff. He didn't want that. He wanted a simple wooden casket. He didn't have the gun salute, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And for him, and I wasn't like this when I was younger, but I've tried to strive to be more humble, and because he truly was a hero, and I didn't even know part of it until he was passed away, and my grandmother told me stories. But he was a real hero, but he didn't want all the airs about it.
Yeah.
He didn't want the recognition, and he never even really talked to me about it. I mean, I learned a lot of it from my dad and my uncle. Yeah. But he lived a life of humility, and I don't want to leave him out when I was talking about my grandmothers.
Yeah. Would you say that your grandparents are the most influential people in your life, or who are the most influential people in your life?
I mean, it's my parents and my grandparents.
Yeah.
And then people like Bill Turner, Bob Wright.
Yeah.
I didn't have a close relationship with Jimmy Blanchard, but just being at the bank, he was still involved. He was. And, just got to see him from afar and, learn the mission of the values of CB&T. Yeah. Got to see him at leadership seminars. So there are a lot of people that have had a lot of impact on me. I've been very lucky, and Columbus is very lucky that we have so many people.
I know. That was the only reason why I wanted to sit down with Papa Jimmy, because first of all, of who he is. Yeah. And the community loves him, and I love him. But I just felt like there was not enough video footage of his wisdom and his leadership ability to be able to run CB&T and do so well. You know what I mean? So love that. Speaking of leadership, you're in a lot of leadership roles. Can you? What kind of leadership roles are you in?
I'm currently on city council.
Okay.
I'm in my third full term.
Okay.
I've been elected since 2016, so that's been a real joy.
Okay.
And I'm on the board of direct services, which is like Meals on Wheels.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm the president of a private club.
Okay.
But that's nothing charitable.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
It's an honor to do that, but it's nothing charitable.
Yeah.
I've served on a lot of boards.
Really.
I've tried to whittle that down and focus on city council and the law and my family and direct services. I tried because at one point in time, there was a point where I thought it meant more to have a lot on my resume to be on a bunch of boards. And I did some that were really impactful. I was on the board of My Team Triumph, where we enabled kids who had, and even adults who had disabilities, we would run them through the finish line in a wheelchair, racing wheelchair.
Oh,
and I ran a bunch of half marathons doing that, and that was a real joy. And I chaired the board of the Literacy Alliance, where we would read to kids in pre-K and help them get kindergarten ready.
Yeah.
And I loved all that. But at one point in time, it was like, oh, I want to be on all these different boards. And I realized that's not the right reason.
It wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah. It's better to be on a few things and do it well and invest my time.
Come on.
Rather than just say, oh, I'm on 6 different boards.
Come on.
So that's
a good leadership piece of nugget you just gave. How did you get there? Like, what were you thinking, or what were you doing to get to that mindset?
Turning my life over to God the way I needed to, not forcing my will, but allowing His will to work through me. Yeah. And
what does that look like, to allow God's will to work through you?
Looking at every approach as Thy will be done, and knowing that this world is not meant to be perfect. We're not meant to be perfect. Yeah. We're going to make mistakes. Yeah. And, the only place we're promised perfection is heaven. Yeah.
Do you think leaders or people who have leadership abilities or to do things in the city or just the world, do you think that's the main opponent that they're missing, is dying to themselves? Because that's what it sounds like you're saying. You got to die to yourself and let God fully use you. Do you think that's the biggest thing that they're missing, or what is the thing that you think?
I can't speak to everyone else in leadership, but for me, that's what it took, because quite frankly, I was not, when I was on all those boards, I was not as humble as I should have been. I had my stuff on LinkedIn and I'd post about victories and stuff. Now I'm the opposite direction. I'm awkward about if I do something good, like I get a big verdict. Yeah. Do I post or not? Do I give myself any credit or not? Yeah. Because I don't want to go back in the other direction of being a braggart. And so I think every leadership style is a little bit different, but for me, I have to think about my clients, my constituents, my family, and what. Which
before you didn't think that way. You said you just kind of.
I would do things, and I wanted to always help people, but I don't think it's the best mindset if you're helping people, but you're also hoping that someone says thank you for it. So I've had to learn to do things without caring who gets the credit.
Sure. Okay, that's good. That's really good. So in your leadership book, what's the first chapter? If you wrote a book about leadership,
it would be starting with, what does God want you to do?
Okay. And how do you know when God wants you to do something as a leader? And how do you know when He doesn't want you to do anything? Based on what your experiences?
Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people where I hear God speak to me like word for word, telling me what to do. Yeah. I have had one experience in my life where I feel like he said something, or he said basically stop doing something.
Okay.
And I do feel like I heard him that day, but otherwise it's kind of a pull on my conscience.
Got it.
With a leadership decision, if I pray about it and I feel like I feel comfortable, I feel strong in that decision. Yeah. I'm decisive in that point.
Got it. Let's talk about business. Mm-hmm. You've been in business for how long now?
Been out of law school since 2010, but I did the banking while I was in college from 2007 through 2010.
What made you want to go or handle business for yourself? Like, what made you want to do all that? Why not just like work at a, work somewhere simple or do something simple? What made you want to take a leadership role like that?
I'm very competitive.
Okay.
I mean, and it honestly, it can be a fault. Pride is something I still find myself struggling with.
Yeah, well, we all do. Join the club.
Yeah, but I'm lucky my wife will call me out. She has no qualms about it. Before I came here today, she said, "Be humble, Walker. Be humble. Be careful."
Yeah.
And I'm glad I have that in my life.
Yeah.
Because I know it's a weakness.
Yeah.
I didn't get into as much of a leadership role until I took over the Morgan office here in Columbus.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, I was a partner in the firm before that with Ben Finley. I was just an associate when I was with Walker Garrett. That's my first 2 years.
Okay. What's the best advice you could give somebody who is in business as a lawyer?
As a lawyer, to make sure you hire somebody that's good counsel. If if you're in business, you need a good general counsel, and you need somebody who's going to not just spoon feed you sugar. You need somebody that's going to tell you the truth. Because I had a verdict this past summer, and it was against a grocery store. And I mean, they obviously have lawyers, but they didn't have a good policy in place to protect customers from shoplifters. Somebody got very badly hurt because it wasn't handled in an appropriate way, and the shoplifter hurt the person. And, they probably didn't have anybody who was saying, "Hey, we need to change this. We need to change that. These are things we need to do to, protect our customers. This is what we need to do with our contracts to protect you."
Yeah.
So you need somebody that's not afraid to get fired by telling you the truth and telling you about risk.
Yeah.
Everybody can tell you the strengths of a case.
Yeah.
You need a good lawyer who will tell you what they see as weaknesses.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's what I would say is you need a lawyer who's going to be honest with you, and you need somebody who is, going to tell you where you've got a real weakness.
What's the number one reason why businesses fail?
Businesses fail? I would say probably because they don't love their employees the way they need to, and they're looking at profits over the people. I think profits follow when you honor your people and when you treat your employees and your customers with love.
How do you do that if you don't know how to do that as a business owner?
Well, for me, it's easy. You pray about it, read the Bible, and listen to what God tells you through the Word,
right?
And you live your life according to that.
Right. And I think some of it is just common sense. Like you just
treat
people right. Sense. Just treat people right.
I mean, it's the golden rule.
Yeah.
But of course, our preacher gave a really good sermon on it, taking the golden rule further. That's not treat people how you want to be treated. It's treat people how Jesus treated them. And Jesus treated people with absolute unconditional love.
I got a chance to speak to a senator one time, and who's very well known, and a lot of people know he's been a senator for a long time. And he told me, I'll never forget the fact that he even let me have 5 minutes of his time because he was worshiping at the event that we were at. So he let me have 5 minutes of his time. And he said, the number one rule as anybody who's in business or leadership is that if you can make the corner brighter where you are, you've done something good.
I like that.
Just make the corner brighter where you are.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to say, but hard to do. But when you do it, things happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people like Papa Jimmy are so well respected, because they've done that. What were you about to say?
I was going to say, after loving people, I'd say the next thing is taking responsibility when things go wrong. And sometimes that means taking responsibility when things go wrong and giving credit to other people when things go right.
Now that's really big, because you would think as a CEO, that's kind of, they always want to, well, I did this and I did that. Yeah. But that's not always true.
Yeah.
Let's go back to you as a person now. So how long have you been married to your wife?
8 years going on 9. We've been together 10.
Come on. And then you only have how many children?
3.
3 children. Who's the oldest?
Walker Jr. 6, and then Griff's 2, and then
Griff.
Demi. We finally got a little girl. She's 1. Yeah.
Okay. What's the best thing about fatherhood that you didn't expect?
Honestly, just the joy that your kids bring you. There's nothing I would trade for it.
Really?
You couldn't tell me you couldn't tell me you could give me $1 trillion
Yeah.
and I wouldn't trade it for the joy that my kids bring me and the love that. And I know when they turn 16 and they're hormonal.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as easy, but right now it's such a fun age with them all so young.
Yeah.
And it's just they bring so much joy into my life.
They just unconditionally love you. Like I don't have children.
It's the closest thing to Jesus
That's
you're
what
going
I'm
to get.
saying. It's just like I don't have kids yet, but I've had my niece and I've known her all her life. And
Yeah.
I remember one time was just feeling so bad. She didn't even know. She probably still don't know this. But I was feeling so down. I was probably down about something. I forget what it was now. But I remember her coming into the home and she just gave me a long hug.
Yeah.
And I don't know how she knew that I needed that, which was not a regular for her at that time, but she did. And it's like, wow, they just have it. You know, kids just have that thing about them that they just love, man. That's love. What's the one surprising thing about marriage that you know now, but you didn't know when you were married before?
I would say, never going to bed mad, and it's not to say that we don't have we have times that we'll have the silent treatment.
Sure.
But one thing that I know my wife and I will die together is because we always forgive. We always try and look at the other person's perspective.
Yeah.
And we try and grow. We don't hold grudges. And that's such a big thing, is not letting resentments grow, to make sure that you address and having direct communication.
Yeah.
Make sure that you talk. If you got a problem with something, talk to each other back so you can work on it. And something that I try and work on is, rather than, if there's something that bothers me about her, rather than trying to make her change, is to see what's my role in it.
That's good.
Because there's almost always a yin and a yang. There's almost always some catalyst. May not be something I did wrong, but it may be something that I might have hurt her feelings, and I didn't realize I hurt her feelings. I didn't mean to. Had no intention, and maybe it wasn't even wrong.
Right.
But if it makes her feel bad, I have to try and look at what did I do that made her feel bad and try and fix that.
That's good, because I just got engaged. Like a week and a half ago now.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about marriage, but I know that there are parts of me that I know need some work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is definitely stretching me. So that's a good nugget to have.
Yeah.
Tell me, you mentioned to me off camera that there were some things that you have had struggles with, and some things. What were those things, and how did you surpass them?
Sure. Just to give you a little history.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like I went from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
My parents were very, very thumb on you. You can't go to parties. I was a teen advisor, which I think teen advisors are still around. I was the last teen advisor at St. Anne Bocelli, but it was where you didn't drink, do drugs. You took a purity pledge not to have sex before marriage, and I was to the freaking extreme.
I didn't know you could do all that. Dang.
Yeah, it's not real realistic.
Okay.
But I went to college, and I'll never forget, I have an August birthday, so we went out like first week. And honestly, because I was a teen advisor, there were people who were nice to me in high school, but I was more of, I wouldn't say a nerd. I was smart.
Okay.
But I played tennis. I ran cross country. I didn't do the cool sports.
Yeah.
I was not the most popular kid. And people may have liked me, but I didn't feel very liked. I was very insecure.
Yeah.
So when I went to college and I got to reinvent myself, finally away from my parents, I'll never forget when I went out for that birthday and somebody was like, they ordered a drink and they didn't check their ID. So I ordered a mudslide. Girly drink of all drinks.
Okay, so I don't even know what that is. Go ahead.
It's a mudslide. It's got like, it's basically like a milkshake with alcohol.
Oh, okay.
And I realized I was more social and I wasn't so self-conscious. And, I realized that people thought it was cool that I could drink. And I started off leadership roles there. I was the pledge class president, and then I was president of my fraternity 2 years in a row. So, I mean, obviously I wasn't doing anything too crazy, but then when I went to law school, because I lived in the athletic dorm, or a dorm that was like right by our tennis courts. I played tennis in college. And so I couldn't do too much in college, but when I went to law school, I kind of got this mentality of lawyers drink. It's something that they do. and never really shook that until, a few years ago. And quite honestly, I mean, I told you I never talked on camera about it, but I felt like if God thought it would help somebody, I should be honest about it. But I got sober in 2023, and I've never looked back. I love my life now, but it's kind of one of those things where it could have been coffee, it could have been working out. Yeah. I mean, Zach knows, I did 6 days a week working out for 2 hours, which is more than your body should do.
Yeah, for sure.
But
that's way more than I'm going to do. Yeah, right now.
Yeah, but I realized then, honestly, that's where a lot of my life changed, because I did go to AA meetings, and I still go to help other people, occasionally, and a big part of that is to get rid of the selfish part of yourself. And you can't always get rid of it. We're human.
Yeah.
But that's when I started. I said, God, I'm not stronger than this. Only you are. I need your help. And I asked him to come into my life in a different way. I was baptized before that, but was I living by my will or his? And I wasn't before. So that's something that was a major life revelation for me. Yeah. And I've tried to put that in every area of my life, and I still fail. I fail in my marriage many times about being selfish, wanting things for myself, but I try. And one of the mottos in AA is progress, not perfection. And for me, that's been one of the biggest influences, because I used to be stuck with, because I grew up with a lot of people that went to Brookstone and Pacelli that had more money than I did, and a lot of people try and keep up with the Joneses. And I started realizing I need to compete against myself, try and be 1% better than I was the day before.
And you try it every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
And I don't always succeed, but if I try just to be a little bit better than myself rather than trying to be better than other people, because there's always going to be people that have more money, smarter than you, better looking than you, that have things you don't have. But if I can have God's peace, that's more valuable than gold, valuable than anything.
What I loved about what you just said is that, like, yes, you did fall, but you try every day, and you've done very well. But you still try every day to do better, just in case it happens again. You know what I mean? And you know what I think about? I think about people who struggle with alcohol, or something. I think about that because oftentimes we think that if we just go get help, then that's it. We won't need to do the work again.
Yeah.
Or we think that, and it's not even alcohol, it could be anything. It could be
scrolling.
Exactly.
There are people who are just getting the same dopamine from scrolling.
Exactly.
It's almost as toxic.
So I want you to kind of help people here who are struggling with anything or any kind of addiction, to walk them through, like, the importance of the daily walk, the daily dying to yourself. Of course, having some type of religion, because not everybody's going to believe in what you believe. Yeah. But having some kind of spiritual practice. But can you express the importance of the daily thing after you go through the classes and the AA meetings or whatever?
The biggest thing for me, the core, is daily prayer with God.
Yeah.
And asking him just what we talked about earlier, thy will be done, not my own. And, you have to humble yourself to recognize that you do have a disease, but it's like cancer, though. It doesn't go away. It is a daily reprieve.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that you have to work on it constantly. I mean, one of the big things is your part of your step work is doing a daily inventory. You do a come clean, like where you talk to another person, could be your pastor, it could be a friend, and you go through everything in your life and you unload everything you can think of things you've done wrong, and then you go make amends. But part of the practice is also to do daily. Actually, I do it earlier today. I had a client who had called me on Friday when I was putting the babies down at like almost 8 o'clock at night, and I didn't call her back. I'd called her during my working hours, and part of it is like immediately making amends when you do something wrong. And when she called me today, she's like, I called you on Friday, and she's like, I guess you weren't working. And honestly, I was a little snappy with her, and I said, I was putting my children to bed, and I said, I said, this is what I was here to call you about.
Yeah.
And I thought for myself, when I hung up the phone, I texted her and I said, I can't say her name because the attorney-client first, but I said, hey, I need to apologize to you. I've been sick the past couple of weeks because I got a sinus infection. I'm on a steroid pack. I'm snappier than usual. I should have called you after I put the kids to bed, and I should have been defensive when you said that, and I know I sounded snappy,
right,
and I hope you'll forgive me.
Right.
And she said, I completely understand. I hope you start feeling better. And sometimes people don't give you the response you want.
Yeah.
And I'm not always strong enough to necessarily do that, but like I do that with my wife.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's too quick to apologize. I'll tell you that since you're engaged. Sometimes you have to give it a little bit of time because otherwise it doesn't seem like you've really thought about it and it's genuine.
Sure.
But when I can make amends, that's one of the biggest things because you're supposed to take an inventory before you go to bed of these, but not just the bad things. You're also supposed to write down or think about or journal or just pray about what are the things you did right too.
Yeah.
You're not, and when you do your step 7, which is where you do your come clean, you're also supposed to come up with your character assets, not just your flaws. So it's not supposed to be just like a breaking down type thing, but that's one of the things you do daily. Prayer and doing your daily inventory, and the other thing's service.
Yeah.
I mean, with 3 kids, it's hard for me to make it to meetings as often as I used to, but I still go to the place that we have downtown where most of the folks who are quartered go and a lot of people who have to go because that's the best place to find people to sponsor.
Sure.
And even if I can't go to as many meetings, service work, and it could be, my sponsor used to tell me, service work could even be city council. It could be me doing Meals on Wheels. It could be me serving my clients.
Sure.
But in particular, I do try, and I have a couple people I always sponsor at any given time. I do try to go to meetings, even if it's not for me, to try and find people, because a lot of those folks out there, they're going to get their little sheet signed because they got a DUI.
Yeah.
Thank God I was lucky enough. I should have gotten DUIs. I didn't, but I should have. So I try and help those people because until you actually hit your rock bottom and you make the decision for yourself, it doesn't work out for you.
How were you able to build or work on your marriage? Like, did that taint your marriage? Did it?
It made it stronger, in my opinion.
Okay.
Now it was hard. It was hard for a long time. I mean, for probably a couple years before I got sober. Mm-hmm. But my wife was very forgiving. Wow. She's been extraordinarily supportive.
Wow.
She's been encouraging. I mean, obviously, I don't want to have a slip up in my wife.
Sure.
But she's even told me, I want you to be honest with me if it does ever happen. And I mean, I'm competitive. So, just like I could drink more than most people, I want to stay sober longer than most people. I want to make it till I die. But I'm human. I'm human. Yeah. And so, I mean, it while it put a toll on it during a time,
it made it stronger.
We are stronger because of it. And
I love that y'all embraced it and didn't condemn you. She didn't condemn you, and you didn't condemn. Well, I'm drinking because of this,
Well, and the thing is, you get to the root of your problems when you do step 7.
Yeah.
And for me, I was being too selfish. I was not thinking about my wife and my kids and God above me.
Yeah.
I was trying to live according to my will, not God's. Trash or something. I still work on it.
Yeah.
But I try every day to do better than I did the day before.
That's the thing I admire about what you're saying right now is that you try. You don't give up. And maybe it has a lot to do with you being competitive and wanting to get it right. But I think a lot of it has to do because you really just, you love, you want the love to shine, not just to say you love it, you love her, but you actually want to show that you love her.
Yeah.
And then what a great example you're going to be for your children.
Yeah. And look, we are like every other couple. We'll have a fight.
Yeah.
But the thing that's different than other relationships I've had is that we sit down, we like to do questions a lot. I'll tell you, if you haven't done it with your fiance, 36 questions to fall in love. Okay. We did it on our second date, and we knew we were in love with each other.
Wow.
But we do a lot of questions trying to work on a relationship. We'll even do ChatGPT, be like, hey, we're going on a date night, or hey, we just had a fight, give it some prompts like, hey, we need some questions to help us rebuild our relationship, rebuild trust. Some of them are tough sometimes.
Yeah.
But we always try and grow, and I can't think of a fight that's made us worse. I can't think of an argument we've had that's made us worse. Look, I mean, there are just times where sometimes it may take a week or two, but I realize, oh, wait a second, my part in this was this. I need to work on that.
Yeah. Tell me this as we close. What's the best advice you've ever been given, and who gave it to you?
Man, that's tough. I mean, I got to give credit to people. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I mean, Bill Turner's book, the Journey of Servant Leadership,
right,
and serving others,
okay, has been instrumental. And then Jimmy Elder, my pastor, with, just going into everything, saying "Thy will be done," and whatever it is, even if you don't know what to say, "Thy will be done," and trying to live by God's will, not my own. Yeah. Let's say that there is an empty room, and in this room are 2 chairs. It's one chair with your 10-year-old self sitting in it, and then this other chair is empty, but your 10-year-old self is waiting patiently for you to your now self walk in this room and sit in the other chair and give him advice about whatever. What is that advice you would give that 10-year-old boy?
I would say don't let your self-esteem get hurt by what other people think of you or what you think they think of you. And no matter how you think, at that age, you're going to be popular.
Yeah.
That if you treat people with kindness and, and go ahead and turn over your life to God in every way you can, that things are going to be okay. You're going to have enough people that will like you and support you and love you that you don't need to worry about being popular and doing what other people do. Don't worry about what other people do. And to have confidence, because I didn't have it back then. I mean, that's why I was so competitive, is because I constantly wanted recognition to support my self-esteem. And I didn't realize that self-esteem comes from God's love, not from other people's praise.
That's good. I never heard that before.
Yeah.
Self-esteem comes from God's love. I love that. I'm going to write that down. I may steal it from you, though.
You steal it.
For your official last question, what's your legacy you want to leave, like, at the end of your life? What's one thing you hope not only your family say about you, but people in the community or just people in general say about you?
I know I will make mistakes on city council, and I know I do make mistakes, but I want overall that my impact made Columbus a place that my children and your children and everyone's children wanted to come back here and wanted to live here and love.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Walker, I really thank you for sitting down with me.
Thank you, Matthew. Just call me Walker, please. Yeah.
Walker, I thank you for sitting down with me. And I'm so grateful. I hope in this interview, despite what people have heard about you, despite what they may think about you, is that you are a father, you're a husband, you're a brother, and you're also a friend. I think there's so much division. Like, it's so easy to put you in a category because you have this and I have this, and it's so easy to say what somebody might do in your position, but they're not in your position, and they probably won't right now. You know what I mean? I feel like there's so much division going on. There's hardly any unity. Yeah. And I think that's one reason why I am sitting down with the people that I'm sitting down with, is because I want to show people that it doesn't matter where or what you have done. What matters is that we all have the same goal, and that's to love people and to make the corner brighter where you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, thank you, Walker.
I appreciate you, Matthew. Thank you.
Brought to you by MSW Productions.